Everyone knows one person who is cold when nobody else is. Maybe it is you. The house is a comfortable temperature, everyone else is fine, and your hands feel like you just pulled them out of a refrigerator. Your feet stay cold in bed no matter how many socks you wear. Most people treat this as a personality trait, something they were just born with, and they never think about it again. Sometimes that is all it is. But cold hands and feet, when they are a constant, can be one of the clearest signals your body gives you about what is happening deeper inside, and it is worth knowing which version you have. I have spent 15 years in clinical practice, and this is one of those complaints people almost never bring up because it feels too small to mention. Subscribe to Wellgevity and hit like right now. This is Dr. Steven, and every subscribe, like, and comment genuinely helps this information reach the next person who is reading this with cold hands right now. Start with why hands and feet get cold in the first place, because the logic explains everything that follows. Your fingers and toes are the farthest points from your heart, sitting at the very ends of the longest pipes in your circulatory system. When your body needs to conserve heat, it protects the core first, your heart, your lungs, your brain. It does this by narrowing the small blood vessels in your hands and feet to pull blood inward toward the center. Less warm blood reaching your fingers means colder fingers. In cold weather, this is normal and smart. The question is, what is going on when it happens all the time, even when you are not cold? Here is a pattern that comes up constantly, and it shows how easy this is to overlook. Picture a woman in her early 40s, we can call her Anna, whose hands and feet have been cold for the better part of a year. She has also been more tired than usual, her hair feels thinner, and she assumed all of it was just stress and getting older. A closer look turns up a few things that tend to travel together. Her heart rate runs on the low side, she feels cold when others are comfortable, and her energy dropped gradually enough that she never noticed a single day it changed. In cases built this way, the cold hands are not the main problem at all. They are a surface clue pointing at a slow thyroid, and a simple blood test is what settles the question. That is the first real driver worth understanding. Your thyroid is a small gland in your neck that sets the pace of your metabolism, which is essentially how much heat your body produces. When it slows down, a condition called hypothyroidism, your whole internal furnace runs cooler. You feel cold when nobody else does. You get tired. Your skin and hair get drier. Cold hands and feet are often one of the earliest things people notice, well before they connect it to anything, and it is common enough that any persistent, unexplained coldness is worth a thyroid check with your doctor. The second driver is low iron, or anemia. Iron is the part of your blood that carries oxygen, and oxygen delivery is tied directly to how warm your tissue stays. When iron is low, your blood carries less oxygen to the far ends of your body, and your hands and feet feel it first. This one often comes packaged with fatigue, looking pale, and feeling short of breath going upstairs. It is especially worth checking in anyone with heavy menstrual periods or a diet low in iron, and it is another thing a basic blood test picks up quickly. The third driver is the one most people have never heard of by name, and it is called Raynaud's. In Raynaud's, the small vessels in the fingers and toes overreact to cold or stress and clamp down much harder than they should. The classic sign is dramatic. The fingers turn white, sometimes then blue, and go numb. And when blood flow returns, they flush red and can throb or tingle. If your cold fingers come with those sharp color changes, that is not ordinary coldness, and it is worth describing to your doctor exactly that way, because the color sequence is the clue that separates Raynaud's from simply running cold. Now, a myth I need to clear up, because it sends people in the wrong direction. Cold hands and feet do not automatically mean bad heart circulation or clogged arteries. People get frightened and jump straight to their heart. In the large majority of cases, especially in younger and middle-aged people, the cause is something like thyroid, iron, or Raynaud's, none of which have anything to do with heart disease. Poor arterial circulation does exist, and it matters, but it usually shows up differently, most often as leg pain when walking that eases with rest, and it becomes more of a concern in older adults, smokers, and people with diabetes. So the coldness is a reason to get curious, not a reason to panic. I do need to flag when this crosses into something that needs attention sooner rather than later. If one hand or one foot suddenly becomes cold, pale, and painful, while the other side is fine, that is not the slow background version, and it needs urgent evaluation because it can mean a blocked vessel. If your fingers or toes develop sores that will not heal, or the skin starts breaking down, that needs a doctor promptly. And if the color changes of Raynaud's are severe, frequent, or getting worse, that is worth a real appointment, since in some cases it points to a larger underlying condition rather than the harmless standalone type. Here's the plan worth working through. First, notice whether the coldness comes with other quiet symptoms: fatigue, thinning hair, dry skin, heavier periods, feeling out of breath, and write them down, because that cluster is what turns a vague complaint into a useful conversation. Second, if the coldness is persistent and unexplained, ask your doctor for basic blood work, a thyroid panel, and an iron or blood count, since these two causes are common, easy to test for, and very treatable once found. Third, if your fingers go through the white, then blue, then red color changes, describe that sequence specifically, because that detail points a doctor straight at Raynaud's. Fourth, protect yourself from the everyday triggers regardless of the cause. Keep your core warm, not just your hands, since warming the center is what tells your body it is safe to send blood back out. And know that nicotine tightens these vessels, so smoking makes every version of this worse. Fifth, if the pattern is one-sided, painful, or comes with skin that is not healing, treat it as the urgent kind and do not wait it out. Being cold when others are comfortable is easy to laugh off and easy to live with for years. Often that is fine. But your body chose your hands and feet as the first place to cut back for a reason, which makes them a surprisingly honest early gauge of what is happening everywhere else. Knowing which of these you are dealing with costs you one conversation, and at most, one blood test. I'm Dr. Stephen with Wellgevity, and if this made you think differently about something you have brushed off for years, subscribe to Wellgevity and hit like. Your support is genuinely what gets this information in front of the next person who has spent every winter wondering why they are always the cold one. And tell me your age in the comments. It genuinely shapes which topics I cover next for the people actually watching Wellgevity.